the main skills we train, the main skills that we're looking to improve at in order to have success on fourth downs. So those 4 skills we've kind of broken down here are into hold up, block points, downfield block, and airplane block. So those are the 4 kind of main things that we emphasize on a weekly basis. There are going to be some things from week to week that will work as well, but those are kind of our main things. Our punt block circuit, again, that we do weekly is made up of. So let's look at our hold up technique first. Okay, so you're going to see a drill here, and back to the top there. Very simply, this is kind of how we start, and this is where the progression starts for us. You've got a kid here that's in the end zone. That is the guy on punt team, right? He's trying to protect the punter. He's trying to block us. Then you got the defensive kid. Here's on this side of the goal line, the field side of the goal line. He's rushing the punt, okay? And what's going to happen here, they're going to rush. And again, when you get blocked, we want to turn this into what we call hold-up technique. Because again, like I said, and we'll talk about it more with our game plan, our scheme part, but if you get blocked, in our opinion, you're not going to have an opportunity to go block the kick. So not only do we want to try to block kicks, we want to try to set up returns as well. We kind of want to do twofold in that nature. I don't believe it's got to be all one or the other. You can accomplish both goals. You can get after punts, and you can try to get returned as well. So all these guys right here, the guys on the punt team, they're going to step across. They're going to block their man. When you get blocked, so all these guys are now getting blocked. Okay, they're going to sit in a chair, they're going to they're going to anchor down, and they're going to try to hold up that guy at the line of scrimmage. So you see a really good job here on the left. Okay, he gets blocked. He squares up his man now. He's going to square him up. He's going to anchor down, and he's going to try to hold on. At some point, obviously, we don't want to get a holding penalty, so at some point that guy's going to escape, and I'm going to try to push him off. We'll talk about that in a later drill. But the whole point, the whole goal is, if I get blocked, okay, I'm going to anchor down and I'm going to hold that guy up, try to not let him release down the field to go make a tackle. So you can see here, like I said, all our kids in our program are doing it. We got the varsity kids over here in the black helmets on the left, and you got your JV kids over there on the right in the white helmets. Everybody's doing it. It's a program-wide emphasis. Okay, so also part of this drill is we start teaching our kids, if you're not blocked, we want you to rush. So we start adding that element into the drill. So some of these guys, and we got our defensive line coaches right down here at the bottom, and he's telling some of them, hey, I want you to let him go. Okay, and so we're going to get some of that here. I guess that'll be the next one here in a second. But again, you can see these guys are holding up. Now, not a great example here, because your mentality, we want your mentality to be to go block the kick. You don't know if you're going to get blocked or not. So this kid, we really want him to attack up the field, okay? And then if he does get blocked, then it turns into hold up. But we don't want your mindset to be, I'm going to hold up somebody first. Your mindset's going to be, I'm going to go block the kick. That's the mentality I've got to have. So you see that young man right there, he really steps to his man and blocks himself before he gets blocked. Okay, so that's not really what we want there. Okay, you'll see over here on the left now, right there. So the same middle guy here, this one. This time he didn't block his man. So now you're not in hold-up mode. You're going to go block the kick mode. So we'll throw in those every once in a while just to keep the kids honest. And again, keep that mentality of, my mentality is I'm going to block the punt. If somebody blocks me, then they'll change my mind. But my mentality is to go block the punt. Okay, so here you can see, here's a good example from a game. So here we go, watch number 95, I believe that is there on our defensive right. Okay, so the guard for the punt team is going to block him. Okay, so he'll square him up, and he's trying to hold on as long as he can. Then at some point he's going to have to let go, but we're trying to keep our punt returner clean as long as possible. Our punt returners, usually our punt returners, right, are our best athletes, and really all they need is space. If we can keep those guys clean for 5-10 yards, give them a little space. A lot of time you got some non-tacklers out here on punt. Okay, we just get him a little space, and we'll get his best return we can. But good job holding up, and he's going to hold him up here for, I don't know, about 10 yards here, slowing that guy down, trying to keep our punt returner clean there in the back. You can see again, here's another hold up. This kind of late here in the middle of the play, But again, we're trying to stay with our guys, stay engaged, just get the punt return a little bit of room to run. And we're fortunate enough to get 20, 25-yard return. So this is a net punt of 2 yards. So we've positively affected the punt. And it's a punt of 2 yards. Our offense has the ball at the 30-yard line. The odds of them scoring are pretty good. Okay, this one's going to happen a little later down the field. Okay, so there you go. So here's our guy. He had gotten blocked, so it turns into hold up. He's going to hold his guy up. And again, once they start to get separation now, again, we don't want a holding penalty, so we're going to shove them away to try to avoid a holding penalty, to try to create a little space for our punt returner. Obviously, this is a fair catch here. That's going to happen, but again, it's just that technique we're drilling, showing up in a game situation. Okay, so block point. So this is our next drill we do. So now we're talking about the block of the kick and the technique we're going to do for that. Okay, you're going to see a couple of things here. So again, you got JV kids and varsity kids. The whole program is involved in this. Our special teams coordinator there, right, Coach Richards, he does a phenomenal job from week to week, from position to position, depending on what that's going to look like for you. He's going to vary that a little bit every week. Okay, but let's watch this kid over here on the right. All right, what we're trying to do is, if you're on the foot side of the kicker, so we've got a right-footed kicker here, right-footed punter, okay, we do not want to cross his face. If I'm on the foot side of the kicker, the side he's kicking on, I'm going to cross my arms, okay, and I'm going to try to put my hands on the ball, but I'm not going to cross his face, which is what you're seeing here, okay? Not a great job by that young man. He's got to reach across, his arms across onto the foot, trying to take the ball off the foot is the coaching point. But the big thing I want you to see there is that he's on the right side, the punter's right side, his kick side. We are not going to cross face there. Again, and we're not being reckless about it. We don't want to get penalties, so we're going to have some technique with how we do that. Okay, now a different example. So now we're coming from the other side here. So now he's on the punter's left foot, or his non-kicking foot. Now we are going to cross face. So again, we're trying to do this to minimize roughing penalties and minimize collisions with our own teammates. So now you're going to see him cross face, but the coaching point is the same. I still want to take the ball off the foot. I'm trying to cross my arms, okay, and take the ball off the foot. So you're going to see the player's arms cross here, his hands cross, and we're trying to take it right off the foot. Okay, now if you look over here on the left-hand side, okay, this week we were playing a team that did some rugby punts. Okay, they were kind of half and half, right? So we wanted to make sure we work that. Our aim point is different. Okay, and again, these are D linemen here, so the position they're rushing from is different. The angle they're going to take is different. Okay, so we're going to work a rugby. We've got our punter down there to help us. He works a rugby, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm on the kick side, so I'm not crossing face. Rugby, so that's going to change my aim point. Try to get my hands up and try to put my hands on the foot. And a bad habit we've developed, we got to work our kids out of a little bit, is they're putting their hands up in the air too much. So you can see, not a terrible job here, but you'll see some of these clips I'm going to show in a minute where they're putting their hands up too vertically, where we want their hands really more out in front of them onto that punter's foot. Okay, we want to take it off the punter's foot. Okay, another example there of a rugby for you. Okay, which is, again, it's just a deal we did that week. Okay, so here you go. I think this is the week maybe we work that drill, because we're going to get a rugby kick here, I believe. Okay, so there you go. There's your rugby. And so you can see our inside linebacker right here. Whatever, his job was to rush straight ahead, and we told him that was where the block point was going to be, right? That guy's going to rugby to him. So here we go. We get rugby to our right, and he's straight ahead, right? It'll look just like the drill. Okay, and again, here's what kind of what I was saying, a habit we've developed poorly. Right, he puts his arms straight up in the air, okay? There's a little space between his arms, and we're not taking the ball off the punter's foot. Okay, so we're unfortunate here, we're unlucky. This ball, it's hard to see here on the film, it literally goes around our player. Okay, so it goes around our linebacker there. So we affect it, but we don't get the block, because we don't do a great job of putting our hands on the punter's foot. Okay, our hands get too vertical here, and we actually miss it when we shouldn't. This should be a big play, this should be a block, and it's not, because we get our hands up as opposed to out. But again, you can see the drill transferring over, run straight ahead, trust where your block point is, and then hopefully use your technique correctly there.